And now we welcome Laurence. Hi, Laurence.
Hello, how are you?
Fine. Hi. Nice to see you.
Good afternoon, and from Ireland. My name is Laurence McLaughlin, and I'm the founding director, or a founding director of Books4Babies Ireland Limited. And today I've been asked to talk to you about encouraging voluntary involvement and community participation in our programs. Just get to the next slide. Who are we and what do we do? Well, Books4Babies Ireland is a voluntary charitable organisation. It was set up in 2012, and at that time, the figures for adult literacy in Ireland were really quite depressing. Most of the people who were involved in starting Books4Babies were educationalists like myself, who wanted to do something positive at a local level in regards to encouraging better literacy uptake. We give a pack containing 2 books and material about the importance of reading, free to all babies born in County Wexford. And really what we want to do is to replicate the magnificent Book Start programme that runs in the UK. We also encourage parents and children to use the library, and our packs are distributed by public health nurses during the child's 7 to 9 month developmental check. Mm-hmm. For those who visited Ireland, here's a little map of our country. The area in pink is Northern Ireland, which is covered by Book Trust UK. Mm-hmm. And just I'd have to say at this stage that we've had magnificent support from Liz Canning in Book Trust Northern Ireland in order to get our programme going, and actually all the people in Book Trust UK, because in Ireland, you can see, is divided into 26 counties, and this is us down here in County Wexford. There are 4.76 million people in Ireland with an annual birth rate of about 62,000. So I'll just go on to the next slide. This is Wexford. Wexford is the 4th most disadvantaged county in Ireland. There are 150,000 people with about 2,000 births a year. We started the programme in Gorey in County Wexford, which is up here in the north. It has 650 live births that had the year before we started, which was quite high per head of population. And we thought that because the project was going to be funded by the local community, that it would be a very, very fitting place to start, because there was so many babies born in in Gorey, that if a program could be sustained by the community, that it would be good news for other communities too throughout the country. One other little bit of background information I'd like to give you is that in 2000 to 2002, a very enlightened one-off program took place in Ireland, and it had to do with the celebration of the millennium. And the Irish government at the time decided to give every child in Ireland a book as a gift for, as a gift from the people in Ireland, I guess. The books were distributed through the library service, and it was the first time that some kind of national book gifting scheme came to Ireland, or was introduced in Ireland. Unfortunately, it finished very quick. It only lasted for 2 years. This is despite the fact that all the people who were engaged in the program were in favour of it. And when we set up Books4Babies, we read the evaluation document, which you see there, and it informed basically how we might set up our own program. We thought one of the deficiencies of the Babies Love Books program was that it was totally centralised. Basically, someone made a decision that they would start a program, and then someone made a decision that they would stop it. There was very little community involvement in the program, and also, this goes back to the context again, there was no single organisation responsible for delivering the project, and there was no single organisation set up in Ireland at the time to basically take ownership of the issue of book gifting. Started? Well, we put together a small group of local people in health, education and childcare, and our plan was to run a pilot programme in Gorey in County Wexford. We took the message to our local community that literacy acquisition is a community issue, and that the community itself is poorer if people can't read or write, not just the individuals concerned. We raised seed funding from the local community to start the project, and we set a target of 50% of the initial funding to come from the local community before we sought any statutory funding from the local agencies. So we raised money from organisations like the Girl Guides, the Irish Countrywomen's Association, Gorey Men's Sheds, trade union organisations, local businesses, and fundraising events involving local schools. To this day, we have organisations as well who help us with our logo and our artwork and our posters, for example, Gorey School of Art. And quite astonishingly, we had the 50%, which we thought we'd need for the programme, raised in a matter of weeks. And then when we presented the project for matching funding to our local council, they were more than willing to help. So at the bottom point I have there is transition year students. Here are some transition year students that are from Gorey Community School. Transition year is an optional one-year program that can be taken by young people between junior certificate and senior certificate cycles. And it's a full academic year, and these young people do life skills, social projects, personal and vocational development in order to prepare the role for to be active members of society, really. Mm-hmm. So it turned out that transition year students were the perfect fit for our project. Not only was their enthusiasm and their physical help very important, but because these people are the parents of tomorrow, we discovered that giving them the message that it's never too early to read to babies was almost as important as giving the books out for our main project. So here are some photographs from the early days showing how it helped us to pack the books. And they also helped us to launch the project when it started in Gorey, and then after that then it went county-wide. Mm-hmm. So you can see now when the project went to the full county, instead of dealing with maybe 20 transition years at a time, we were dealing with almost 100. And our success, if you like, meant that this part of our project, we couldn't really go on with it because when we, other towns in the county eventually wanted to have the Books4Babies program, and coordinating transition year students in each of the different towns in Wexford became beyond the reach of our capabilities, really, because we were a small voluntary organisation ourselves. But again, the community came to the rescue. And in order to meet the challenges of expanding the programme, we had to streamline the logistics of the programme. We set up a Books4Babies County Wexford Steering Committee, and we created a new funding model. So I'll just go through these with you. First of all, in place of the transition year students, we now have a very good working relationship with County Wexford Community Workshop, which is a centre for people with disabilities in the county. And they've been very, very good at helping us pack our books. They do it very, very carefully every year and get them ready for distribution. So we now have somewhere where the books can go, where the books can be stored, and where the packs can be put together. we set up a Books4Babies County Steering Committee, and this meets regularly, and it has become a very, very good vehicle for interagency cooperation between the statutory organisations and the voluntary sector in the county. So at that committee, we have public health nurses, we have representatives from TUSLA, which is the, I suppose, best way to describe it would be the health, the part of the health board that's concerned with the care of preschool children. Then we have people who, from the County Wexford Community Network, who organise preschool provision for children. We have Bernardo's, which are a voluntary organisation for the care of young children, or children, beg your pardon. We have the library service there, ourselves, Books4Babies Ireland, and then representatives from the local education authority. We also had to invent a new funding model for ourselves, because there is no centralised money coming to us locally in the county, and we come up with a 4-strand funding model where we have the library service at Stroke County Council, the education service, and the health sector, and we match whatever funding they put up with the community as well, and so all that funding goes into the Books4Babies, to make the program possible. And we've discovered as well, we've been running now for about 5 years, we've discovered that if one of the funding streams dries up, that the program can still run. So it's a very, very robust model. With regard to our community voluntary donations, our company set up a relationship with the credit union movement in the county. The credit unions are very, very important for the people of County Wexford. It's very, very much a community effort themselves, and we print their logo on the back of our bags, and then so they reach the target audience they want to reach as well. So they've been very, very good to us. So what have we learned? Well, we've learned that it's possible using voluntary effort to start and maintain a book gifting scheme on a small scale. But as the program grew, as our program grew, unfortunately, we had to scale back our use of transition year students because of the effort required in order to coordinate them. So I was very interested to hear that in Japan they have 100 meetings, 100 information sessions a year. I mean, that's really fantastic. But the scale that we operate on, we found it very difficult to coordinate our transition year students. The community involvement also helped to ensure the involvement of local statutory agencies. So I guess as a community movement, it was quite successful. And we also found that people in the community are receptive to the idea that literacy acquisition is a community issue, and they're willing to engage in programs such as Books4Baby to effect change. Mm-hmm. So where are we now? Well, along with others in Ireland, we're continuing to lobby for a national book gifting program, and that's one of our directors there talking to our Prime Minister, holding a Books4Babies pack. We've been going for about 5 years now, and we've delivered about 10,000 or 12,000 packs to our local community, and that they are also funded by the local community. So far, our funding model is working very well. We've discovered that. In 2017, Books4Babies was independently evaluated, and the following comment was made. There's clear evidence of effective multi-agency collaboration, and the programme demonstrates the best use of community resources to realise its goal of effecting positive change in County Wexford. So I have a brief video that I'd like to show you that lasts about 2 minutes that will demonstrate basically how Books4Babies has kind of informed the statutory provision. Basically, from a local point of view, it's informed the statutory provision in the county.
Research has shown that children who engage in reading experiences on a regular basis do better when they get to school. This highlights the importance of the home learning environment and the role parents play in their children's learning. Sharing books with your baby from birth creates the perfect space for cuddling, bonding, and interacting. As your baby's primary carer, you are your child's first teacher, and sharing books supports them in developing a love for books and the communicative experience. At this age, sharing books is not about reading a story from start to finish with your baby. It's about enjoying the fun and enjoyable experience that a book can bring. Responding to your baby's cues, such as pointing, cooing, and babbling, builds strong foundations for oral language development. In your presence, your baby will enjoy responding to your description of pictures, colours, and textures, listening attentively to your soothing voice and sound effects as you bring the book to life. At this age, most babies love touching books made of cloth, soft plastic, and strong cardboard. This allows them to explore all of their senses. Babies engage greatly in rhyming, lift the flap, and touch and feel books, as well as books with actions and real faces. Here are some additional tips for encouraging reading with your child.
So just to conclude, I would like to say that we've been very, very fortunate in the help that we've had, basically from yourselves and Bookstart and the statutory agencies. But really, our experience has been that the local community has been very, very supportive in starting the programme and keeping it running, and that they've now taken ownership of it to a large extent. And if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much to you, Laurence.
Thank you.
Is there any question to Laurence?
Hi, Laurence. Sorry, my webcam doesn't seem to be working.
Hello, Jason. How are you?
My question was that you said you included information on library membership in the pack, and I was just wondering if you've tracked or if you've noticed any increase in library membership over the years of the programme.
We haven't actually been able to establish that because the programme isn't flagged really as part of the library service. So we haven't been able to track that at all. I was talking to a local librarian recently, and I was asking her how many people actually use the library, and she was talking in terms of maybe 20-30% of a given population. Does that sound right to you, Aidan, does it?
Yeah, I guess it depends on the area, but yeah.
Yeah, because my experience is that the people who work in the library service are always very, very busy, but they seem to be singing to the choir a lot of the time, in that a lot of the people that go to the library continue to use the library, but it's this population that wouldn't dream of going to the library that our project does kind of target.
Mm-hmm.
So
we have another question from Sue.
I guess looking at, for us, it's very much about how your families access the packs. Do you give them out to the families, or do they come into a centre or a clinic? What's your, I guess, the distribution and the percentage of families with babies accessing the books?
We have 2,000 children born in Wexford every year, and each of those children have an appointment set up for them. In Wexford every year, and they have an appointment set up for them at 3 months, 7 to 9 months, and again at 3 years with the public health nurses. So our packs are distributed by the public health nurses during their professional consultation. So when the packs are ready to go, they're picked up by the health board transportation system, and they're dropped out at the local health centres. So, but also if some parents don't turn up for their appointment, the public health nurses, I'm told, put the packs into their cars and would deliver those packs in the homes of the children as well. So.
And do the health nurses, do they, when they're giving the packs out, do they give a message as well? Do they do that role modelling with the packs and with the books to the families?
Yes. Well, because they're independent health practitioners, we can't be too prescriptive in how we.
Yes.
You know, but we would hope that they would open the pack and you know and engage parents with the you know, I suppose skill them up,
yes.
and that. So you know, but we haven't been as that prescriptive with it, saying you should do this and you should do that, because we're very much you know, we're very much an ancillary message that, you know, because they have other things to do as well during these health checks as well as you know.
No, I understand, Laurence, because in South Australia we do the same with, we do 3 packs. So we do one at baby and then toddler and preschool. And the baby packs are handed out by the child and family health nurse who does the home visiting program. And so probably about 96% of the packs are delivered that way. And that's one of our conundrums, hence why I'm asking is what the relationship is between the child and family health nurse and the parent or the family, and what messages they're giving, because they have a whole range of other things they need to do. And it's one of the things that we really want to try is looking at what the message is and what the parents are hearing and understanding. So it's an interesting conundrum.
Yeah, I suspect as well, because actually before I went into, you know, education, I trained as a nurse, and I worked.
That helps.
You know, I worked, you know, as a nurse and going out into the community and visiting, working alongside midwives and health visitors and that kind of thing. And I suspect that nurses and health professionals read the nonverbal cues that they get from their clients, and if they think that there's not a problem in a particular area, that they won't, you know, spend time in other, you know, discussing other things that are more relevant. So if they feel that a parent is articulate, you know, middle class and well heeled, maybe they wouldn't be as
as forthgiving with messages. But I think one of the things we've learned is that
so I have to interrupt because I have another question and we don't have a lot of time. When it's okay, maybe we can summary
I'll
all
talk
the
to Laurence
questions.
separately.
Yes.
Okay. Thanks, Sue.
Yes, and there's another question from Liz. She wants to know, do you have to reply for funding each year?
Hello, Liz. Yes, every year each of the strands, the 4 strands in health and education and you know, the local authority, they give us a tranche of money. We're very welcome. We're very pleased to get it, but it's done on a year-by-year basis. Yeah, it is. Unfortunately, yeah.
That's the problem sometimes.
It is.
So I think it's really very interesting to see how different all the programs, the early literacy programs works. But when I look at the watch, our time is over. I think we could talk and talk and talk. So thank you very much to all of you. I think we are at the end, right, Peter?
Yes, I think so.
Yes. And so I say goodbye to all of you, maybe until the next meeting. Yes? Have a good week.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sabine.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 Bye.